And what's up? It's the Solomon Project. Or it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. That counts. I'm your host, Richard Burns. Man, things are looking crazy. You heard? Crazy. It's bad. Real bad. But whatever. I don't want to shock and rock you. I'm going to let that go. Instead, I'm gonna show you something. Guys, listen. Get up in my community page and look for those videos. Y'all are about to experience some stuff that, man, listen. Angie. I'm gonna look for something right now. I'm gonna look for something. Bye. Let's just have a look at something here. As of February 2025. Okay. This is what I needed to see. Let me try to figure out how to pose this, how to create the narrative. Let's do it this way. Imagine that there are 20 people that are saying, hey, we're willing to lend you money. Or, no, they're not going to lend you money. There are 20 people that want to borrow money from you. Of the 20 people, only one is the safest of all of them. Second and third, they're okay, but they're not as safe and secure as the first one. The first one is the safest and most secure, guaranteed, almost 99.99% guarantee that you will get your money back and they will pay you interest. So let me run a quick check on some data here, because this is impotent. And you know how impotent things can be. Roy. So then, Roy. Check this out, guys. Check this out. Because not everybody Okay, it's working. It's working, guys. Guys, it's working. Make sure you hit that like button, please. Thank you. Subscribe if you haven't. You already know. And that notification bell, if you don't hit that thing, you won't have a clue as to when I come on. Which is okay so long as you see the video later. But when it comes to the lives, if you want to come in, yeah, hit that notification bell. Going back to the 20. So 1 is the closest to 100% where you can get your money back after lending it. And you're going to get interest. Now, the way it works, so that you're not confused, is that the riskier it is, the more interest you're going to get paid. Okay, that's the relationship now. If you're going to lend somebody money where the chances of you getting interest and all your money back are low, then the interest payment has to be higher. Has to be a lot higher. We're talking about bonds. When you buy a bond, you're lending money. And if it's extremely risky, those are classified as junk bonds. Those are the ones that offer you double-digit interest payments. Double-digit. It could be 20%, 30%. That's extremely high. But if you want a AAA rated bond, you might get 3%, 4% right now. Big difference. Big difference. Here's something to consider. There's two sides to the coin when it comes to interest rates. Like that. Two sides to the coin. As an investor, if you want to park your money in something that's safe or the safest, you already know you're getting a low interest rate in comparison to one that's very risky. So let me check something out for you for bonds here in the United States, because the United States, the bonds that okay, before I go there, let me just do this. Let me just do this. I'm looking for the bond rates. Let me see if this is it. Because if this is it, I want to show y'all's. Because this is important for you to know. This is very important for you to know. What the fruit flavor's going on? All right. I got a little something. Yeah, this is perfect. This is good. This is good for you. This is good for you. I want to do something that's good for you. Let's have a look. See, so I'm going to share this with you. I'm going to share this thing here because this is important for you to see and important for you to know. Let me expand this here so that I can see what the fruit flavor I'm doing. So you're looking at a chart with the different or with different bonds that you can purchase, and you can purchase them directly from the federal government. Yeah, it doesn't have to be through a broker. You can purchase them directly. What I really want you to pay attention to is the data maturity. Now, you don't really need to do, but the yield. I want you to take a good look at the yield. These are all U.S. bonds. Here we go. U.S. 10-year Treasury bonds, no yield. Okay. You got the 10-year, you got the 4-week, the 8-week, the 3-month, the 6-month, the 52-week. Why don't they just call it the year, whatever? It's the 52-week, the 2-year, 3-year, 5-year, 7-year, 20-year, 30-year. And then you got tips. We're not going to discuss what tips are right now. However, it should be obvious after I just finished mentioning the time frame. Should be obvious that you can purchase a bond that will mature within specific time frames. When we say mature, we're talking about when the money that you loaned is due. So if you go to the 10-year, which is the one on the very top, if you go to the 10-year and you purchase a 10-year bond, that bond will mature in 10 years. And you have it right here, March. It'll mature. If you purchase it in March, it'll mature in March. It's a 10-year time frame. So you can buy a 4-week bond. It will mature in 4 weeks. The same with 8 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, and so forth. Whatever time frame you want. Now, you don't have to hold on to the bond for that amount of time. As you can see, the bond yields go up and down. They don't stay at one level. For example, the 10-year went up. It went up by 0.023%. The 4-week went down by 0.009%, so less than a percent. The 10-year bond went up almost 0.25%. This is typical of how the bonds move on a daily basis. These aren't big moves. Well, these are big moves for bonds, but not. So you got these things. If you purchase a bond, you would want the highest amount of interest payment that you can possibly get. If you're focusing on the safest, which are the U.S. bonds, if you're focusing on the U.S. bonds, which are the safest, okay, the yield is 4.26%. Okay, fine. But if you can get it higher as a purchaser of the bond, yeah, you would want it higher. You would want it to yield more. That's more money in your pocket. Of course, you're going to want that. Many retirement accounts use bonds. When you hear the term fixed income, they're talking about bond rates or something that yields a fixed amount of money for the duration of you owning that asset, in this case, bond or bonds. A lot of retirees get money from bonds that they've purchased, and they're living off that money. They're living off of fixed income, if you're living off of fixed income, you would love for the bond rate to go up. You would love that. So when people start talking about bringing down interest rates, of course, the interest rates are going to impact the bond rates. So if the bond rates goes down, guess what happens to that retiree? They're making less money. Now, let's have a look over here and see something, because this is interesting information as well. Okay, let me share this tab. Let me read it off. So here's a breakdown of the nation's debt. It's 28.91 trillion. Of the 28.91 trillion, 22% are treasury bills. That's a type of bond. Treasury notes. That's a type of bond. That's 50.95% of that. And bonds, 16.87%. What makes a distinction between what a treasury bill, what a treasury note, and what a bond is the maturity date. Treasury bills tend to be under a year. Treasury notes are around, I forget, but you get what I'm saying. Now, 6.37 trillion are treasury bills. 14.73 trillion are treasury notes. 4.88 trillion are bonds. And other securities are 2.93. So that could be CDs, that could be other stuff. Now, here's the thing. You see how big those numbers are, right? Where they're in the trillions. They are in the trillions. This is money that the U.S. government has to pay out to all the bondholders. Now, you got bondholders here domestically, but you also have foreign entities that purchase our bonds. You got individuals from other parts of the world that are buying our bonds. You got investment firms in other parts of the world that are buying our bonds. Governments from other parts of the world that are buying our bonds. Why are they buying our bonds? Because they want to park their money somewhere where they can get a better return than the bank and have the highest guarantee of getting their money back. If the rates go down, that's less interest that has to be paid on the new bond purchasers. It's less money. But now, let me put you in the driver's seat. You got a bunch of money that you want to park. You don't want to park it in the bank. You don't trust the bank. But you do want to buy bonds. Do you want to buy them when the interest rates are lower or higher? Most people would say that they want it when it's higher, a higher rate of return, a higher interest rate. So you can just imagine how the demand for bonds increase along with the increase in interest rates. Is it important that we borrow money? Of course. Of course, because it gets cycled into our economy. Remember, we're a consumer-based economy. 70% of our economy is based on consumption. We need that. We need that. So this is something to think about. So when you start hearing things about interest rates going up and down, it might favor one side. It may not favor the other side. There's two sides to that. Just keep that in mind. I'm going to cut this off right here because it's time for me to go to sleep. I just wanted to tune in, let you know about that. So y'all ahead, stay fresh, keep it profitable, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you.